Hi, you're listening to the Real Work Stories podcast, and I'm your host, Benjamin. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you. And if you tuned in before, welcome back. Now, this is the podcast where I talk about all things customer service, from the customer to the corporation and everything in between. But before I get started, I gotta say thank you to everyone for all your support for the podcast. Thank you for all the likes, shares, comments, downloads. I appreciate it. I only say it every episode because I mean it every episode. And if you don't already follow me on Facebook and Instagram, make sure you do so at Real Work Stories Podcast. That's where you're going to find out about topics, episode snippets, discussions, and more. And today, I'm going to be talking about something that happened at work a couple days ago. And not just a couple days ago. This happens way too often. And this just goes to show you that sometimes we get blamed for things that are not our fault. Hear me out. So, the other day, I'm at work, and if you don't know, I work at a bank. And here I am, sitting at my desk, minding my business, twiddling my thumbs, or whatever they think I do all day. And customer reach out because they need help. That's what they do. So I'm like, hey, thanks for calling. My name is Benjamin. How can I help? And this nice young lady decides to tell me that, she's having problems using her debit card. Hear it a million times a day. So I'm like, cool beans, no problem. Now, when you say you having problems, like what exactly do you mean? Stop being vague. Just tell me what's going on. So, she says, I've been trying to use my card now, and every time I use it, I have to use it twice. Because the first time it gets declined, and the second time it goes through. So I'm like, okay, that's a bit strange. Not the strangest thing I've heard of, but hey, let's see what's going on. Now, if you're like me, you've been working a job for a long time, customers start telling you stuff, in your mind, you already come up with something that you think is the actual problem, So in my mind, I've already got 3 things that I'm thinking okay, could be this, could be this, could be this. But let's be sure. Let's look at the little computer screen, see what the computer's gonna tell us is the problem, right? So I look up, da-da-da-ding. Lo and behold, y'all, it's the simplest thing in the world. But while I'm looking it up, she starts rushing me. Look, you need to hurry up and fix this because this has been a problem for a long time. And I'm like, okay, I'm looking up, trying to see what's going on. But since you brought it up, how long has this been happening? Because now I'm curious. She's like, this has been happening to me every day for the last 2 weeks. Now, let's just pause here for a quick second because I'm thinking wait a second. Even though at this point in the conversation, I already see what's on the screen. I know what the problem is, but I'm like, you've been having this problem for 14 days and you waited until now to call in and say something, but that's another problem for another day because I don't know about y'all, but I'm not going to have a problem with any service I have and wait 14 days before I call in and tell hey, look, you got a problem. This needs to be fixed. You feel me? Anyway, so I'm like, okay, man, here's the thing. I don't know what you're doing, but your card with us has only been declined twice in the last 14 days. Not every day. Let's start there. I said, secondly, the only reason why the bank declined your card is because you used the wrong PIN. Now, if you don't know what I mean, when you go to the store, put your little debit card in, it says enter your PIN, you put in those 4 digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever y'all like to put in, because y'all like to do stuff like that. But she's like, I'm not putting in the wrong PIN. Okay. I'm not going to do this with you, ma'am. That it says it right here. It says wrong PIN. It's very clear. It's not ambiguous. It's not something I got to do a lot of research to figure out. It's very simple. Oh, typed in the wrong pin. And then,
Hey guys, if you suffer from migraine attacks, you know they're horrible, and they can strike at any moment. Thankfully, there's Nurtec ODT, Rimegepant 75 milligrams, the first and only medication proven to treat migraines and prevent episodic migraines in adults. Take Nurtec ODT to get migraine pain relief in as little as 60 minutes and protection that can last for up to 48 hours. Or take one in anticipation of a migraine attack to avoid interruptions to your plans, giving you time back to focus on the things you love doing, like going to concerts, spending time with family, and listening to music or podcasts like you're doing now. With over 1 million prescriptions written, this tiny tablet can make a big impact. Talk to your doctor to see if Nurtec ODT is right for you. Don't take if you're allergic to Nurtec ODT. The most common side effects were nausea, stomach pain, and indigestion. For important safety, prescribing, and patient information, visit NURTEC.com.
as if there wasn't enough of this already, here the foolishness comes. So, like I said, I tell her with all the niceties in the world, it's just because you typed in the wrong pin. And then somehow, through some magic portal, this entire conversation, this entire situation, this whole scenario gets flipped, and it's now my fault. She's like, no. I didn't type in the wrong pin. You people are doing something to make this happen. And now I'm like, okay, here we go. Here we go. You live in imaginary land where you think that we're just out to get you. You think that we sit here all day like, yeah, what can I do to Tracy today? Yeah, you guys, let's do this. We're gonna deny her card only the first time every day for the next 14 days. Just to spice up these next 2 weeks. No, ma'am, nobody sits around thinking about that. It's very simple. I told you this already twice. It's just because you typed in the wrong pin. Right? So, in my mind, all of that is just going through my head. Because I'm like I said, what could we possibly be doing to make this happen? But before I can even clear my face to ask another question, then she says, well, if I was typing in the wrong pin, why does it work the second time I do it? And I promise, with all the non-sarcasm I could muster, as nicely and as pillow soft as I could put this, I said, well, you typed in the pin right the second time. That's why it was approved. So now, again, here I am thinking, okay, she's going to get it. She's going to understand. Oh, I just typed in the pin wrong. Life is going to go on. I'm going to help my next customer. Just never get brought up again. Oh, I was wrong. I couldn't have been more wrong. Because the next thing that come out of her mouth was, well, you people need to do something to make sure this doesn't happen again, because this is getting aggravating. And almost like a reflex, y'all, like I couldn't even stop myself from saying it. It just flowed off my tongue. I said, what would you like me to do to help you remember the pin that you created? And then everything went silent. That was it. It just went silent after that. Like, I couldn't even hear her breathing anymore. It was just, not even crickets were chirping. It was just pure silence. Like, she put me on mute. And, I mean, here's the thing. All I'm saying is this. Like, there comes a point, I think, where you have to realize that some things that happen are not to be blamed on the people that work for this company. Whatever company it is. There are some things that you cause on yourself and nobody's even mad at you. You know, we're not blowing up your phone telling you, hey, use the right pen or we're going to shut you off. No, we ain't doing none of that. It's just, hey, you typed in the wrong pen. You made it up. If you don't use it right, the bank doesn't approve your transaction. I just think that's a pretty simple system. But anyway, like, I really don't understand how in any way, shape, form, or fashion this entire scenario somehow became my fault. But the more I think about it, like, when things like this happen, it literally just further enforces the idea that I think that the people who work in customer service should be able to take surveys on customers the same way that the customers take surveys on us. Just like Yelp reviews, but for customers. But you know what? That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. And with that being said, I'm clocking out. Thank y'all again for tuning in to another episode of the Real Work Stories podcast. Peace.